Hello, today I'm joined by 2008 Olympian and now head of Turkish archery. It is Goktug Ergin. Goktug, hello. First off, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you so much. It's always great to see you, Karim. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very, very well, thank you. Probably not quite as busy as you though at the moment. You've just come off the back of the third stage of the Hyundai Archery World Cup, which was held on Kenyati Beach in Antalya, a lovely location to have the competition. But just now we've got you, give us an let's take this opportunity to find out exactly what goes into running a World Cup stage, because it's not just throw some targets up and let's crack on, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's a quite huge work actually to organize a World Cup stages, but it's a kind of tradition for us because we are organizing an international competition in Antalya since 1996. It was already quite huge competition for us just before the World Cup established, but since 2016 it's one of the stage of the World Cup, and since the beginning of the World Cup series we are there as Antalya. This is a kind of honor, but in the same time it's a big responsibility because first of all we have to keep our field available and ready for the World Cup series for every year. We have 10 people dedicated to working on the field to keep it green, keep it available, keep it clean for our guests, for our dear friends, to organize one of the stage for every year. Then also during the World Cup, we are working with the totally 75 people. They are involving about everything. There are some departments like accommodation, transportation, and we have some people responsible for medical care. There are some people responsible for safety. And as everybody knows, World Cup has two phases. First phase is qualification and early rounds, and there are the finals. Finals are a different story. We always try to organize it in the Konyaaltı Beach. We always try to bring the people as close as possible to the seaside. But that is also another huge work, and we have some dedicated groups, dedicated organizing people for the World Cup final stage too. I would say it's a huge work, but in the same time it's a big honor, and we're proud what are we doing here, and we are always happy to see our dear friends and guests here in Antalya.
And I mean, huge numbers of people involved often go unsung and unnoticed, but the competition definitely can't happen without them. But for Türkiye itself, how important is it for your federation to have one of the prestige events of the year in Antalya or in Turkey at all?
I would say we are the only federation who has this kind of dedicated event for every year. We are the only one. We, of course, the other federations in Turkey are organizing really good events in Turkey, but they're organizing 3 to 4 years one event. But we are almost organizing one world championship every year in Antalya. It's a big prestige, and also it's a big privilege to welcome all the archery community, all the archery family, and we are trying to show our hospitality. Of course, we try to express our culture to all our guests, but in the same time also it's a big honor to be able to do that. On the other hand, it's really important because as a federation we are always want to be involved the organization sides too on the archery and technical part too. We are always would like to be involved to improve the archery. And because of we have a stage in the World Cup series, we have an opportunity to discuss with the people and discuss with the World Archery to try new things and implement new elements in the World Cup series too. Because World Cup's a kind of playing area for our future. We can try new things and we can get feedback from the participants, and we can decide which way we have to go for development of the archery itself and also development for all the member associations. And we are feeling a kind of responsibility on that side too, and we love to be involved in these experiments.
We're going to come on to those experiments, but before we do, because there were a couple tested there, and I do want to talk to you about those, but it would be remiss of me not to ask you how you felt your own archers performed. Emrecan Hani was probably the rock star of the Türkiye team, but as head coach of Türkiye Archery, are you satisfied? Work in progress? Did you get some information from the performances of some of the athletes?
This is a big challenge for us. When I'm talking about the coach side, when we're talking about the performance side, to have a competition at home, it's a kind of challenge because the tradition of Turkish culture, we are always try to be so close to the athletes, not only coaches, all the people, they love to be together with them. And just before the competition, during the competition, a lot of people try to communicate with them, try to motivate them to compete, which is not necessary actually, but it's not easy to cut it. And because of this, now it can be a challenging to have a high performance, a really good performance at home. But I would say generally, when I evaluate my team, generally the qualification round was strong, and during the competition they were good. They shot good ends. Of course, we had some good ones and we have some bad ones too, but we have to work on internally, and we just try to get our lesson from this competition and try to understand what we need to improve for our team too. We had good results on the compound side, and we didn't get the medal for the recurve side this competition, but it wasn't that much important because the performance was there. Especially during the individual eliminations, my archer's performance was good enough to win, but this time we lost. But we have chance in Madrid again to come back on the final stage, and also for us the major competitions, World Championship, all our work, all our plan through the World Championship, which will be taken beginning of the September. I believe we are in good shape, we are in good way, but honestly I would say it's always it's a big challenge to have a big event at home.
Yeah, different kind of pressures, absolutely, and of course everyone quite rightly wanting to see their athletic superstars. Okay, so you kind of gave us everyone a bit of a spoiler as to why we're really here today. Two things were being tested. Let's just take them individually, and then we can sum up at the end. The decision to switch from a 72-hour ranking round to 60 arrows. I would imagine logistically that makes things a little bit easier. It's a bit faster. You can get through it a lot quicker. But one, what was the idea behind this? I know you probably were involved in some of the discussions about these tests. And did it work? And I'm happy, Goktug, if you feel it worked for one discipline and not the other. Let's just talk about it honestly.
Honestly, I have to say I like it. I love it for myself. Because I was involved in this discussion since 2016, I believe, because it was first time this idea came up during the joint committee meetings in World Archery Center in Lausanne. The main idea was we were looking for how we can decrease the day, how we can remove at least one day from the World Cup to make it more affordable for all the participants, for all the member associations. But in the same time, we had to find out some efficient way about the results. As a coaches committee, we did a kind of studies, a kind of research before, and based on the previous competitions, our coach committee member, Marcel van der Apperlon, he made a study for the previous 100 competitions. He just found out 72 arrows are quite a lot to shoot to find out to final ranking, because at least 48 arrows would be enough to have to reach the same outcome with the 72 arrows. This was quite interesting result for us, and since then we were working on how we can change and how we can implement new things for the qualification to reduce the time, but in the same time also as a coaches committee we would like to change to view of the archery, because we would like to convince the people archery is one of the athletic sports. It's not a kind of hobby, it's not a kind of lazy sports anymore, and because of this we have to find out a good balance to convince the people we can reduce the number of arrows, but in the same time we have to find out to increase the effort on it, because we were shooting 73 arrows but we were shooting 36 of them and we had a gap, 15 minutes, and after it we were shooting another 36 arrows. There was some negative parts to shooting like this because, for example, you are in warming up, you are in stretching. When we're talking about the training science, you are in stretching, you are in warming up, you are shooting 6 arrows, 6 ends, 36 arrows, and you have 15 minutes gap. Between this gap, most of the archers was not doing nothing. As a coaches, we always try to tell them, get up, get ready, do your stretching again, get ready for the start, draw the bow, something. But it wasn't enough. That gap was one of the reasons for some archers had shoulder injuries during the competition or after the competition. They were feeling a kind of pain because your all muscles are cooling down during that 15-minute gap. After it, you are trying to get warming up again. And I believe this was affecting too much on the scores too, because, I mean, the scores are there. Scores are already recorded. We can check. Most of the archers was ending with the high ends at the first round, but when they start the second round of 36 arrows, they were not starting at the same place that they left at the sixth end. And there was clear issue to have 15-minute gap between the two 36 arrows. And on the other hand, as I said, 72 arrows was too long. It was taking 3 hours, 15 minutes totally. And we were just losing time for nothing because at the end of the qualification, you can't win the medal. It's only for find out the bracket. And we just decided at the last joint committee meeting a year ago, I think 6 months ago, it was in Lausanne, an excellence center. We discussed with all the committees as a coaches committee. We just offered them to have 10 ends in a row without any break between of it. And in this way, the archers has to realize, all the teams, all the member associations has to realize 10 ends in a row is a bit challenging than to have only 6 ends and 15 minutes gap and another 6 ends. They have to be ready for it. They have to understand that they have to change their preparation system. They have to change their training methods for that. And also for the scoring side, we believe it gives a chance to the archers to be more consistent between the ends. And this is in terms of training, in terms of science and injury prevention, and also in terms of performance, it looks like one of the best idea. And because looks like one of the best idea, and because of this, we wanted to try, and Antalya was one of the chance for us, and we did the experiment event, and we just changed the schedule for Antalya, and we had chance to try it Antalya.
So thumbs up from Goktug on the 60-hour ranking round, and really beautifully explained as to what the ideas were behind it, the process of getting there, coming to 48 arrows, saying, well, that's not really enough. The break, helping athletes prevent injury is fantastic. And then, of course, the scheduling as well. To cut the cost for athletes, hosts, and federations has to be a critical part of all of our decision making. So thumbs up on the 60-arrow ranking round. What about the 11? I mean, I kind of got, and I'm going to put my hands up. I had to speak to Chris Wells at World Archery in the couple of days leading up to Antalya to say, Chris, I just want to check something. Is the 11 being used in recurve as well? Because in my mind, the 11 was for compound. They're shooting such high scores, all of the athletes, men and women. It just I just assumed it was compound only, but of course it was for recurve as well. So the X-ring becoming 11 instead of 10. So its value has gone up from being the defining factor for world records to now actually being a defining factor on score. Did it work?
I would say both. It worked and it didn't work as we expected, because in both categories we had different kind of results, and we had different kind of reasons behind of it too. Because for compound we had a problem to have the coin tosses at the end of the ranking round. A lot of archers shooting really high scores, and a lot of archers shooting same scores and same amount of tens and X's. And it's just when you look at the ranking list on the results, there was a lot of CTs on the right-hand side. That means the archers ranked by coin tosses at the end of the ranking round just because of their scores was equal. And we were feeling like this is not really fair because we are putting too much efforts. And we knew that archer scores are same, but their group size are completely different than each other. We knew that, and some of them was more consistent, more precise, and some of them was shooting too many X's. Some of them was not shooting that much X's, but we were feeling it's not fair to have only a coin toss after that much effort, and because bracket can affect too much to go into the medal or not, especially for the compound side. One rank position can be really a matter for the compound side, and because of this, we were looking for a system can produce really proper result and really fair result. And because of this, again, in the coaches committee, we did a study for different kind of systems. We tried, based on the previous 100 competitions, of course, again, we tried what would be the result if we increase the distance. If we increase the distance to the 60 meter in the compound, and if we keep the same target bases, we saw just the results changed only 30% something. It wasn't too big effect. And we try to simulate to reduce the face sizes in the compound side. We try to reduce it 60 centimeter rather than the 80 centimeter. And again, the result didn't change as much as we expected. But when we did a study, if we increase the value of the X as a 11, it affects too much. And in Antalya, obviously, in the ranking round of the men's side in compound, there was no coin tosses at all. All the archers ranked by exactly their performance, not their luck or not their chance. In the women's side, we had only one coin tosses, but with the 63 women, to have one coin tosses, it will be acceptable. I mean, in recurve, it's a different story. For compound, we would say it worked great. And also during the matches, it was great because it kept the excitement of the match. It doesn't matter if you are losing 4 points, 3 points. Until last year, you always had a chance to win. And it was a lot of good examples on it. For example, Matthias Fullerton versus Mike Schlosser, they shared their target paces. Mike shot 3 nines, Matthias shot only 1 9, but still Mike was able to win. The next round, it happened oppositely against the Mike. And this was a good thing. I believe this brings new excitement to archery, and it will change the game for compound side. For recurve, we just realize it's a bit early to have a 11 rather than to have a X, because in recurve, the distance is too long. It's 70 meter. The archer is not able to exactly aim to X's now. With the recent face coloring and shape, it doesn't help to archers to aiming to the X, and because of this, when they hit 11, it looks like by chance. And the size of the groups between compound and recurve, it's exactly different too, because in compound they're aiming exactly to the X because their scopes helping them a lot. And also their grouping size is almost tight as much. All the arrows are touching all together. But in the recurve side, I mean, best grouping size, in the good weather conditions, it can become 15, 16, or between 15 to 20 centimeter for the men's side, and in the women's side, it's around 20, 24 centimeters something. In that size is not enough to be consistent in X. And the main reason also, they are not able to see the X ring from the 70 meter. They can only see the colors from the 70 meter, and they try to keep their side pin inside of that yellow color. There can be a kind of things that we can try for the future events. We can still keen to change the game on the recurve side too, because we realized also during the event, especially in the elimination matches, it was also interesting. It was also a game changer. The outcome also elimination rounds was interesting too. We are still working on it. We are still trying to collect some feedbacks from all the coaches and athletes. And also we are trying to make analyzing about the scores and plotting points too. But I believe for recurve, we have a bit time to increase the X value as 11. But for compound, it looks like fits great.
So, simple question then. Do you think that it's possible that the next set of decisions could result in, say, compound and recurve both having 60 arrows in the ranking round, but the 11 only being applied to compound, and we stay where we are with recurve?
I'm not sure about it because, in the first part, I'm sure 6 arrows is great. There are a lot of benefits for all of us. Now we are able to reduce one day, at least one day from the World Cup, and then it will be more affordable to everyone. It will be much easier for the field crew, I would say. As an organizer, I can say it was much easier for all of us to following the competition and schedule. And for athlete sides, I would say it's a great benefit for them for preventing injuries, to have high performance, to have higher scores. And as a coach side, I'm quite happy because now everybody understands, all the archers understand they have to work, they have to have more training to be the successful. But about the second part of your question about to have two different systems for compound and recurve, I think it's unlikely because as an archery coach, I wouldn't want to have a different systems in the compound and recurve. I would like to have same system and more consistent system for both sides of archery, because at the end we are archers. But as I said, it seems in the compound side it worked great. In the recurve sides, there's some challenges, and we have to work on it. This gives us some homeworks as all the archery members, actually, all the coaches, all the athletes. We have to work on it. We have to think about it. We have a couple of ideas that in the future we would like to try. There are some. We see some solutions for that. We believe we can find a way to make it equal for both sides, and we can make it much better for all of us.
It's warming to know two things. One is, I think that if you have separate rules for archery, for compound archery and recurve archery, it's not only inconsistent, it's difficult for the audience to have to understand two different sets of rules. So I think I agree with that. But it's also warming to hear what you're saying, that because Chef and I doing the commentary, we were like, this is definitely work for compound. We're not quite so sure about recurve, but we both thought the 60 arrows in the ranking round was a really good idea, and practically it makes sense. I think it's even better to hear you saying that it actually means that it's a kind of different mindset as well. You're not doing 36, break 36. You've got to show consistency, both physically and mentally, concentration-wise, for 60 arrows, and I think that's wonderful. I suppose the jury's out, and we wait to hear what the next steps are. But a really, really good experiment. It certainly made things exciting for. I had to do my 11 times table in the week before to try and work everything out. All right, I've got one last question for you, because I've asked everyone so far during these World Cup interviews about it, and I need to know what you think. LA 2028 compound archery making its debut. Happy?
I'm so excited. I'm extremely happy. This is a kind of dream will come true in LA. Finally, we will have compound archery in the Olympics. And this will be, of course, debut. It will be at the beginning. And I believe there is a big future for archery because now we have 2 bow categories and we will have 6 medals in Olympics. And archery become more famous. Archery become, everybody understands. We have a fancy sport. We have a great sport to watch. To do it is not easy. I mean, to shooting an arrow is easy, but to hit the middle of the target all the time, it's not easy. It's not quite easy. But the watching archery, it becomes really interesting and great with the new graphics, with the new AI things give us a lot of opportunities now. And I believe it will be a benefit for the IOC too, because they are looking for a way to catch the Gen Z, and Gen Z will be quite interesting for Gen Z to see that kind of graphics and that kind of AI tools, what we are using already in archery. And I believe it will be exciting. It will be great. As a coach, I would say, as the head coach of a country, I would say, now I have one more opportunity to show my country's power, and I have 2 more opportunity to have 2 more archers in the Olympics, and it gives me quite big power against my country, against my sport ministry, to asking some budget, to asking some preparation opportunities, of course. Anyhow, I mean, it was great result to have archery finally in Los Angeles, and I believe in Los Angeles it will be big evidence for everyone. Compound is a great sport, and people will love it. And we will have, I believe, we can have more archers, more compound archers, and more recurve archers in the near future in Olympics.
Brilliant stuff. Goktug, I know you've had an incredibly busy last week, and I know it continues at least for the rest of this week. And then, of course, you've got an incredibly busy season ahead of you as well. Thank you so much for your time. A real pleasure to speak with you.
It's always a great pleasure to share the things with you. Thank you so much, Karim. Thank you.